Last time, we spent quite a bit of time talking about taking other people at face value and taking them for who they're for, not reading into them or trying to imply things that weren't implied, or, to allow other auxiliary thoughts about who they are or what they're doing lead in. Just face value. This is who they are. Accept them for it. But it's equally as important that we are honest with ourselves about ourselves. One of the best and most powerful things you can do for yourself, even if you aren't attempting to change it, is to acknowledge and accept who you are. Only after you've done that can you decide to improve on it, or to change it, or to do something with it. It's not just accepting the bad things, although that is very, very important, but it's learning to accept the good things too. Because once you realize, for instance, what you're good at, once you realize where your passion lies, you can harness that either for fun or for profit, for a paycheck, or to just have a good time by allowing yourself to meet groups of other people who share the same things in common, or to allow you to go in front of other people and present those abilities and those skills. It's okay to toot your own horn a little bit, as long as you don't get carried away with it. But self-acceptance, not who you thought you were or who you think you should be, but of who you are. I don't always handle stress very well. I get overwhelmed in situations. And when I get overwhelmed, or when there is a lot of stuff going on, I tend to recede from my social circles. And what it is partly, when I'm out with people, when I'm out doing things, I want to be able to focus on that moment in time without the other thoughts of other things in my head. Likewise, I don't want to be that guy that sits around and complains about everything and just has nothing good to say about anything going on in the world. But I also want to be able to, without guilt, enjoy my time doing whatever I'm doing with the people I'm doing it with at the time. And I can't do that when it gets thick sometimes. I can't do that in the midst of whatever crisis is going on. And I do use that word intentionally, because I'm not talking about I had a bad day. I'm talking about something that sort of shatters the way that you looked at life, the things that go on with your kids and your spouse, your family, either direct or indirect, the things that they didn't just happen to somebody, they've actually changed the course of their life, and thereby sometimes changing the course of your life. When these sort of things happen to me, these big things, it's one thing to realize in my family unit that I'm dealing with it myself, but also the way other people are dealing with it. And now the way that I feel I have to, direct my energies with those people as well. And so, when I say when it gets thick, that's what I'm talking about. And so when it gets thick and I have this way of just shutting everything else out, it's like I need to focus on what I'm doing right now, and it needs my focus. Never mind the fact that I can't give anywhere else and enjoy myself or really, devote myself to it. But what I'm doing needs my focus. And there are times, I'm not saying that that's ever going to fully change, because there are some things that just warrant that kind of focus. But with that said, one of the things that I do want to get better at is not receding as much. Yes, I may need to pull back into focus and I can't go do all the things I want to be doing, but to completely just fall out of touch with everyone, that's where I know that I fail. And I say that not because other people make me feel that way, because I don't let anybody dictate that I should feel bad because they think I should feel bad because of their own mental state or neuroses. I don't owe you to take care of you. It's up to you to take care of you. That's not my job. It's not your job to take care of everyone else. It's your job to take care of some people. It's not your job to take care of everybody. But more so, it is your job to take care of you, and you first, without guilt. Because at the end of the day, if you're not taking care of yourself, how can you ever fully take care of somebody else? If you're stuck in your own head and you're stuck in everything that's going on, how can you ever give somebody else the attention or the focus or the energy that they might need from you? It's just something to think about. As I'm going through and evaluating some of the things that have happened in the last 2 years, and I don't mean in the world, that's just a circumstance. That's nothing that I have any control over. I can only control the way I react to it. That's where I bring this conversation right back to, with some of the just truly gnarly things that have happened to myself and my family in the last 2 years. And the way that I've dealt with it, and the way that we've dealt with it, I've really had to learn to be honest with myself, to accept myself as I am. Not to say that that's the end of it, to say that, well, that's just the way I am, and, you either take it or leave it. But to say that that's the way I am, not for other people, but to say that's the way I am. So that once I recognize it and give myself a chance to reflect on it, if it's something I want to change, I'm now prepared to.